Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa and I'm the Carbootcrafter, and I'm coming on today with a Valentine's Day project. So I've had a rummage in my stash and found out some heart shaped dies that I want to use today. So this one is some nesting heart shapes, and I've got these two which I'm going to use today. Let's pop them out the way. So the biggest one, so this one is about 2.5 inches from that point to the top of these, the heart there, by 2.5 across, and this one is 2 by 2, so 2 from the point to the top here on both sides, and then 2 inches across as well at the widest point. So I'm going to use those two, and I'm also going to use this die as well, which is a fabulous little die. It's a cutout die, and by that what I mean is it doesn't cut out a shape, it cuts into a piece. You'll see in a minute when I use my die cutting machine. But it's a fabulous little die that you can use for all sorts of occasions, like Valentine's Day, but birthdays and Mother's Day, anniversary cards, even wedding cards. Yeah, fabulous little die. And I think I got it off eBay. Could have been Amazon. Can't remember. I've had it a while. So let's pop those out of the way there. And what else do we need? So first of all, I've taken a piece of A4 card, and all I've done is folded it in half, so I've got my base card. If you've already got some A4 base cards, then go ahead and use them. But I haven't got any at the minute, so I'm just doing it this way. Folded piece of A4. And that gives me a piece on the front, so a card front that is 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So 5 3/4 across by 8 1/4 high. It's actually slightly more than 5 3/4, but I didn't want to get into the 1/18 of an inch measurements, so there we go. So I stuck with that. So then I took another piece of A4 card, and I then cut myself two mats, and a mat and a topper. So my mat, which I'm going to use on there, is 8 inches by 5.5, so that will fit lovely on there. And then this one, which is going to be my topper, is 7 3/4 by 5 1/4, and that will go on the top there like that. Right, okay, I'm going to take my card base and my topper. I'm going to pop that to one side out of the way. I'm going to bring in the last thing that we need, which is some red paper or card. In this case, it's holographic paper that is sticky. I've had it for a very long time, guys, and the sticky has started to go, as you can see. So I thought I'm going to start using it. So you might see quite a lot of the holographic card this year. So all I'm going to do, really simple, is stick the 8 by 5.5 onto this card. So I'm just going to peel it back, and this is tacky. It's very tacky actually. So I'm going to peel it back quite a while, because this isn't tacky at all, so I want to get to the tackiest bits. So I'm just pulling it back as far as I think I need to, like that. I might put it a little bit more actually, just to make completely sure, because I don't want all my edges to start popping up. So there we go. Ooh. Very tacky as you can see. Let's crease that down a little bit, and then I'm just going to pop this on like that, and hope that I get, yeah, like that. I'm hopeful that that is all going to be quite well glued down onto there. Let's open the backer a bit again, and all I want to do now is I'm going to grab my ruler, pop that back a little bit more, and I can pop my ruler down the side, and all I need to do is cut that out. So I'm going to use my blade. So actually, let's twist it round, make it a little bit easier for myself. pull that back a little bit more. I'm going to just line up my blade along that edge and then cut through it. I think I probably need a new blade actually, looking at that. It's not too, it's a bit sticky and a bit gunged up. But hopefully it'll do for now that I've got the camera rolling. There we go. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards a couple of times and hopefully cut through the holographic paper. There we go. Yes, so that's, I can save that bit, pop that out the way, and do the same on the other sides. So I'll use scissors if that works better for you. Some people are better with scissors. I'm not very good with cutting straight lines with scissors. I much prefer this this method. Right, so as not to waste that little bit there that's quite sticky, I'm just going to pop it back on there like that. I can use that in another project. And then these pieces at the end, I can just, could have just cut it back, I suppose, and folded it over, couldn't I? Thinking about it now, but hey ho. Yeah, so I'm using this holographic paper, but use whatever you've got to hand. You know, if you've got some really nice glitter cards or glitter paper, that would be fabulous, wouldn't it? Really nice. Or even some plain red card would be good for this. Right, so that is my background done. Isn't that fabulous? And that gives it a really nice kind of shine and shimmer. So I can pop that to one side. Actually, let's move on to the next bit and just glue it onto the front of my card base. I might as well, and then it's drying while we're doing the next bit. So I'm just going to take that out and glue this down. And I've added it to, rather than just cutting it out and then putting it straight on, I thought it gives a little bit of lift and a bit more strength, not just to the front of the card, but also to the holographic paper itself, because it's quite thin paper. So I thought fixing it to the white card would help you some dimension, and also because it's self-adhesive, you've got one try, haven't you, before it sticks to the paper. And if you're not straight, and I'm not very good at getting things straight, then you've got a little bit of a disaster on your hands. And this way, especially with the wet glue, I've got a little bit of manoeuvrability when I pop it down like this. So it's double check I've got it the right way, although it doesn't really matter at the moment. Let's line up the bottom first and then come up to the top. Let's make sure that's nice and straight, and there we go. That's our background done. Isn't that fabulous? And then that will go over the top, so you have a nice little border all the way around of that gorgeous red. Okay, let's pop that to one side for it to dry. I'm going to put it face down. I've got some stamps there. I'm going to put them over the top of it to keep it down and flat. Let's put the lid back on my glue, because I'll need that again, and I don't want it getting all gunged up. Let's go cross-eyed trying to pop that in. Come on, you know you want to. There we go. Whoops. Let's pop that there. So the next bit then is to use my dies. So I'm going to grab my trusty old Cuttlebug die cutting machine. As you can see, it's had lots of love, lots of use over the years. Oh, don't know where that's come from. I think bits are starting to fall off it, but I am loath to get rid of it, or to even to change the plates and things, because this was gifted to me, or should I say I inherited it from a very dear friend, very dear crafter. So I always think of her when I use it, which is I really like. So let me just tell you what, rather than faff about, let's do it this way. So I've got my layers. Now I've got it facing me, guys, so I will show you when it comes out. I'm going to pop this piece across like that, and I don't want it to go off the edge and risk slicing the paper, so I'm just being really careful like that. And then I'm going to take my biggest heart die and pop it there like that. Now if you want to use tape, masking tape, washi tape, whatever, to hold it in place, that's up to you. I'm just going to hold it and run it through and hope it doesn't slip. So I go backwards and forwards a couple of times, so this might take a minute or two. So there's once, bring it back. These are quite good little dies actually, so hopefully that's done it. But should we do it once more for luck? And that hasn't jumped, thank goodness. So there we go. Because I've moved it, it's not got the suction at the bottom, which it normally does. Right, there we go. Right, I'm not quite finished with the machine yet, so I'm just going to take that out and take that out, and I'm going to move my card out of the way. Let's get rid of all those little hearts, which I might save and use on something else. Now this is the bit that I want to work on now, so I'm just going to push that out, pop it back on the cutting board like that, and I'm going to pop the next size down. I'm popping that in the middle, so I just want to make sure I'm lining it up as close as I can. Make my sandwich again and then pop it through the machine. Yeah, that's got it. Through the machine, and this should only be backwards and forwards once you do it, because there's just that die in there. Okay, yep, and that's worked beautifully. So that's what I've got now. Let's pop this away. Let's get that out the way like that and like that. And now we've got this. Let's get my pokey tool and I can poke all of these out. I will do my die afterwards before I do the next one. So there's all my little hearts. I'll push them out the way, and you get a really nice effect with that die. As you can see, I'm sure you can work out why I love it and why I think it's so versatile. So let's push all our little hearts into one little pile, and now we can start assembling. Yeah, this is how quick this card is. Right, where did I put my card? It's under here, isn't it? Okay, so that's hopefully quite dry now, and I'm going to get some double-sided what is it, foam tape, you know what I mean. What's it called? Dimensional tape. So I'm just going to put some all around the outside like that. Now where's my old scissors gone? There they are. Some old scissors that I use for cutting this foam tape, because it just ruins your scissors otherwise, doesn't it? So let's put a little bit here. I don't want to go too far down because I've got that the die cut there. Let's pop a piece the other side of that. This is just to give it a little bit of dimension and lift, which I think is really nice on this card. Like that. And on this corner a little bit, not too much I don't think. Don't want to do too much on there, just a tiny little piece on this side. There we go. And last edge all the way up to there, stopping just short of that little die cut again, like that. And now I'm going to put a little bit on the inside just to keep around the big heart, keep that kind of stable for when we do add it to our I'm going to add a little bit across here as well, just to keep those pieces stable. There we go. Okay, I always flip it over, push it down like that. Then I've got my pokey tool and I can take all of this off. So you can take, I take all of it off. I know that they say you don't need to. Some of it's just to keep that dimension going, but I don't know, I just feel like I need to take it all off. So that's what I'm doing all the way around. So this is such a quick and easy little project. And it kind of, I guess you could call it a CAS card, a clean and simple card, which very much seem to be on trend at the moment, and have been for a little while actually. Clean and simple. People seem to have stopped, you know, some people prefer, I guess, the clean and simple lines of a clean card. And it doesn't have to be a white card, it can be any background colour, can't it? In fact, this card you could do, wouldn't it be nice to do it all in red with the white background? Actually, that's a thought, I might give that a go if I get time, and see what it looks like, a bit like the negative, positive and negative of this card. So, and last piece. Something quite satisfying about taking the backing paper off. Right, there we go. So let's double check on this. So that's, turn it that way around, and I've got it facing me, guys, so that I can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to line up those edges, lay it down carefully and go round. So now you can see it's all starting to come together. So I've still got these pieces. So the small heart I'm going to fix in there. I'm going to put some foam tape on it so that it gives it a bit more lift, a bit of dimension with it. But you don't have to, you can lay it straight down if you prefer. Let's do that, and again let's flip it over and rub that in just to make sure it takes really well on there. And the backing tape is coming off like that. Chuck that over there on the pile, and I'm turning it around so I can see, so I can line it up nice and straight. There we go. And you can stop there if you want, but I'm going to use this piece as well. Now you could just use that as waste, but I want to use it on my card, so I'm just going to grab my glue bottle. I'm going to glue all the way around the outside, just a thin bead of glue. all the way around that. And I'm going to offset it. I'm not going to pop it back in. I'm going to offset it a little bit. So if I do it and then I'll turn it around and show you what I'm up to. There we go. So there you go. There's the offset that I like. And then what I've done is I've got myself a stamp. So to my Valentines, this is, it comes from this set of stamps, which is the Victorian Valentine set. It's mainly images, but there is To My Valentine and a token of love stamp, and there's a little for you there on there. So I'm going to grab my bone folder and I'm going to give it a little bit of a lift like that. So all I've done is I've stamped it, and you can use any Valentine stamp you want, or any stamp. So I've stamped it, and all I've done then is I've matted and layered it onto a piece of the hologram card. So I'm just putting a curve into it like that, because what I want to do is to pop it here, but I want it to have a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to turn it around so I can see what I'm doing. And what I want to do is put it under this card here, slip it underneath and have it going over the second heart like that. So that's what I'm going to do there. I will need a little piece of the foam tape, so let's just checking I'm using the right scissors. Let's put a little piece of foam in the middle there. There, well, is that too wide? Or is that okay? I think that's just about right. So that can go in the middle to give it a little bit of lift. And then I want to put a little bit of glue on either end. So I'm just going to get my bone folder and just flatten just before it says the 2 there. I'm just going to flatten that a little bit so that can have some purchase under there when I put some glue on. And I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. Just flatten that a little bit so I end up with a shape that's curved here and then flat at either end like that. Let's grab my glue, and I'm going to use the white PVA glue again for this, because it just seems to grab onto the holographic card a little bit better, or should I say holographic paper. So glue on that end and some glue on that end, and then I'm just going to take that carrier sheet off that little bit of foam, double-sided foam tape, if I can get it off. Trying to get it off while trying not to get glue all over myself. There we go. So, and I'm just going to slide it under there, if you can see. Slide it under there like that, and then I've got my foam tape there, and then a little bit of glue at that end, and that is my card finished like that. Yeah, it's all finished. So let me show you what I've done on the inside. So I've already made one. Obviously I had a little bit of a play, so I've made this one already. And what I did on the inside was I've used some A4 copy paper, and I've stamped a token of love in there, whatever sentiment you want. But then I've used my little die, and I've die cut the holographic paper out, and the little hearts that came out, same as the little white ones that came out, I've used then to decorate the inside of the card. So there you go. There's 2 Valentine's Day cards, which I think are fabulous, clean and simple CAS cards. but we'll make a beautiful card for your Valentine. So if you give this a go, please do tag me into it. I'd love to see. I'm on Instagram, and I'm also obviously on Facebook and TikTok. So yeah, do let me know how you get on. And if you enjoyed the video and you like what I've made, I'd really appreciate it if you thought about subscribing to my channel. Anyway, hope to speak to you soon. Bye for now.